We have to move on to Facebook, which is now permanently banning far-right extremists and anti-Semitic political leaders, people they have designated as, quote, dangerous. Those banned today include Louis Farrakhan, Alex Jones, and Milo Yiannopoulos. Now, a Facebook spokesperson telling Fox Business, quote, we've always banned individuals or organizations that promote or engage in violence and hate regardless of ideology. So is Facebook going too far?
No, I'm delighted to see this. They're taking out the trash, these awful people, in many cases, encouraging violence, sanctioning violence. Look, you have no right to speak on someone else's platform. Let Milo Yiannopoulos go to GeoCities or MySpace or something. He can't go on Facebook. And the fact is, what they need, David, more than anything, is clear, objective rules. People need to understand what are the guidelines, what are the laws. But I think this is a positive thing because Facebook has been under attack for months now about not doing enough to clean up some of the trash that's on its site. I applaud it.
I am so happy I went after Jonathan on this one. You know what? Look, I just think Facebook has every right to deal with their platform and how they want to do it. The question is who is the arbiter? What's their background? What are their beliefs? And are they going to be down the middle? That is going to be a question going forward. I really have no problem with doing it. I don't like hate speech. I don't like anything that incites violence, and I'm hoping they get it right.
Well, to your point, Facebook has listed out several factors that they use to check. So they're not just going after some alt-right extremists. These people have to check off several boxes, either eliciting hate, comments, or just flat-out lies, like we know Alex Jones has done with Sandy Hook and lying and saying that that entire travesty was a fraud. To that point, though, Facebook, and I think I agree a lot with both of you, Facebook, it's a company, right? We don't like regulation, then it should regulate itself. It should go forward, especially considering how much it's been involved with the Myanmar genocide, the fact that there's been brides sold in South Sudan on Facebook, and it elicited a bidding war on Facebook, and then even a WhatsApp, and Facebook owns WhatsApp, there was a rumor on there, and that led to the burning of 2 men in Mexico. So Facebook needs to step in.
No. You guys are all dead wrong on this one. I will first say that I hate Louis Farrakhan with every fiber of my being. I am a Facebook shareholder. I'm an avid user of Twitter. I do not think that any of these people should be deplatformed because I believe in free speech as a concept. I'm not saying legally. Legally, they have the right to do whatever they want. But as a principle of free speech, unless you are directly inciting violence or you are breaking a law, when you start to go, this is hate speech or this is distasteful, that becomes a very slippery slope. And where does that go?
Carol,
does that go to your ISP?
When I hear that,
let me finish, Gary. No, Gary, let me finish. Does that go to your ISP? Does that go to MasterCard and Visa? Has been happening to people. This is a slippery slope when you let a few people with power decide what is acceptable speech. I don't like it at all.
Are you suggesting regulation?
I hate disagreeing with Carol Roth on anything.
I said no. I said no regulations. I said as a principle.
When I hear somebody saying they want to eradicate Jews off the face of the earth, I'm good with them going bye-bye. It's as pretty much simple as that, and that goes for anybody, any race, creed, or color.
Here's the problem, and you know I'm Jewish, and I hate it too, but we counteract bad speech with reason. We want to know who our enemies are, and what happens when we speak out against Palestine, and then they say, well, I'm sorry, you're being hateful towards Palestine. Guess what, Jews? You're off the platform too, Gary. It cuts both ways, and that's why you have to have that.
And by the way, the First Amendment is not about protecting safe speech. The First Amendment has a dangerous element in it, and I see Jonathan nodding. Yes, you know what I'm talking about, right, Jonathan?
Well, and also, the First Amendment does not apply to private companies. This is not a... Carol, I'm sorry, this is not a First Amendment issue.
Well, that's true. Facebook is not bound by the First Amendment.
Carol, if you own a restaurant...
On principle.
There's a difference
on principle, Jonathan. I'm not saying legally. I'm saying on principle.
There's a difference
between free speech.
Oh my God. There's a difference between being objectionable, which you brought up Palestine, and a difference between hate. And like Jonathan just said,
and
that First Amendment doesn't apply to private companies.
Who makes that determination? A bunch of people on Facebook. We're going to all end up
and we know, by the way, we know who they're using to make those judgments, and some of those people have very curious ways of defining people. For example, Louis Farrakhan is described as a right-winger in the listing or the announcement that they were going to cut him out. I don't think he's a right-winger. I mean, maybe he's not a socialist per se, but the point is that people make judgments, and you have to know who those people are, and it's a brave new world.
And therein lies the worry. It's simple as that. Who's the arbiters?
And they run a risk if Facebook gets a reputation for excluding right-wing or left-wing or anything else, for really prohibiting political speech. They run a risk to their own viability and their own bottom line.
Jonathan, you're getting very good at the last word, I must say. Congratulations on that.